Hello chaps, welcome once again to John Robson Guitar Tuition. As always, I do hope you're well. Today we're looking at this guitar. This is a Harley Benton DC Custom, which as you can see is a copy of a Gibson SG. This guitar was bought with money from the Guitars for Good Causes campaign, which, as I'm getting new subscribers all the time, I think I'll just recap on what that is. Basically, it's a GoFundMe campaign that I'm running where you guys can donate and I then use those donations to buy guitars like this, which I then review on this channel. Once I've reviewed them, the guitars then get sold, with the proceeds going to Zoe's Place Baby Hospice, which is a charity in Middlesbrough which provides palliative, respite and end-of-life care to children under 5 with terminal illnesses. So a very worthy cause, and if you'd like to donate, then the link is in the description box below this video. Anyway, onto the guitar. These guitars cost about 150 quid, which is roughly half the price of an Epiphone SG. Yes, I know you can get an Epiphone SG for about 150 quid, but it won't be made from mahogany and it will have a bolt-on neck as opposed to a proper set glued-in neck joint like that. So, just got me thinking, does half the money buy you half as good a guitar? Well, let's find out. Here's what it sounds like. So there you go, not a bad sounding bunch of tones that it produces. Certainly if you're looking for a guitar which you could use to play blues or classic rock or blues rock or, you know, classic metal, Judas Priest, that kind of thing, then yeah, this guitar would easily cut the mustard. It's a very, very credible, mature sounding instrument, I think. So let's take a little bit of a closer look at the specifications. As you would expect with this style of guitar, you get a mahogany body. Set into that in the traditional glued-in method is a mahogany neck, which features, unlike the Epiphone, cream binding. The neck itself has a very comfortable C profile and also features a dual action truss rod. Sitting on top of the neck you have a roseacre fretboard with a 13.75 inch radius. Roseacre is one of these rosewood substitutes that you're seeing increasingly used these days due to the CITES regulations, and it's basically a thermally treated form of maple. Set into that fretboard there are 24 medium jumbo frets along a 24 3/4 inch scale. Up at the top end you will see that there is a graphite nut measuring 42mm. The headstock, unlike the Epiphone, has binding, and this one also has the nice new Harley Benton logo, which I've said before and I stand by that I find much more aesthetically pleasing than the old one. Flipping the headstock round, you can see we've got Grover tuners. That is a really nice quality touch at this price point. And again, it's something that the Epiphone guitar doesn't boast. Powering the guitar, you will find a pair of Roswell LAF Alnico 5 pickups, and well, you've already heard what they sound like, no complaints there. The pickups are controlled via a master volume and tone control plus a 3-way pickup selector. These pickups don't feature coil taps or coil splits, whichever you want to call it, whereas the Epiphone does. So yeah, I guess that's something that we could wish for. And you will also see the ubiquitous Tune-o-matic bridge and stop bar tailpiece, which on this guitar, as you would expect at this price, are unbranded but easily enough upgradable. So there you go, that's what's going on with the Harley Benton DC Custom. And now we get to that section of the video where we talk about quality, fit and finish, overall setup, how the guitar actually arrived. Well, I've started to notice a little bit of an up and down story when it comes to the quality of Harley Benton guitars, and I'm beginning to notice that it's the Fender style instruments, Strats and Telecasters, that generally need a bit of work doing on the frets, or the neck straightening out, or maybe need the tuners replacing, or that kind of thing. And it's the mahogany set neck guitars which are generally set up to a much better degree, and that's very much the case with this guitar. I've not had to do a single thing to this since I took it out of the box. As is always the case on any Harley Benton guitar, I find that the nut slots are perfectly cut. The first fret action is effortless, and it's low, but it's not that low that you're getting any buzzing. There's no fret buzz anywhere along the neck at all, no bends choking off, nothing like that. The tuners, well, they're Grovers, so they're great. Lovely, smooth, positive feel. The guitar stays in tune really, really well, which I was a little bit surprised about that, because we all know the problems that you can have with a Gibson style headstock and tuning issues. But no, I suspect the graphite nut has a lot to do with that. Intonation, absolutely spot on. No, I didn't have to adjust a single thing. This guitar has been set up properly by somebody, so whoever that is, thank you. You've saved me an afternoon's work. Other things that I like about this, well, as I mentioned in that specs video, I do like the Harley Benton logo, this new logo. I also like the binding on the headstock. It just finishes the guitar off nicely. I think it looks really classy. One of my students was round here the other day, and he's a bit of a die-hard Gibson guy. Brings his Les Paul or his PRS, because he doesn't mind a PRS either. He brings his Les Paul to the lesson, and he could barely put this down. He was really sort of taken with it. So and that's from a bit of a Gibson purist. If I was to talk about things I don't like on this guitar, well, there's only one thing really, and that is the volume and tone knobs. Telecaster knobs on an SG, not sure. That's just an aesthetic thing. There are a couple of cosmetic flaws, nothing that affects the playability, but they do need mentioning. You can see in this photograph here that the 6th string tuning peg is mounted slightly wonky. As I say, it doesn't affect the performance, but it just looks a little bit off when you look at it from round the back. Fortunately, you don't have to look at that angle of the guitar when you're playing it or when you're watching somebody else play it, but it is there. Another cosmetic flaw that you can see here is on the aforementioned headstock binding. You can see that it's a little bit untidy on the top corner there. But again, you know, we're splitting hairs here really. Because the guitar is such a fantastic quality guitar, it's very easy to forget that you're playing an instrument that costs 150 quid, you know. I very nearly called this video an SG for less than the price of a toaster, because believe it or not, you can go into Argos on any high street in the country and pay £170 for a toaster. Indeed, yes. A certain saying about fools and their money being easily parted springs to mind. Anyway, that is the state of this guitar. It is absolutely fantastic. Where is it today? It's Friday today. Hang on, let me check my calendar. I'm useless with dates. It is Friday the 28th of September today. This guitar is now officially on sale. Okay, if you want to own this guitar, then you know what to do. You email me your bids. These things cost 150 quid new. I'd like to say that it's also had a full professional setup, but it didn't need it. These are 150 quid new. Send me your bid, whatever you think is appropriate for this guitar. If I was listing it on eBay, I would list it as new other, you know, because it's in brand new condition. It's still got all of the original packaging and everything. The only difference is obviously you're not buying it from the original retailer. We will say that we will keep this auction going until Monday the 15th of October. So get your bids in before then. I will then notify the winning bidder that they have got the guitar. And what you do then, if that's you, is you make a donation to Zoe's Place via the link which is below this video for the amount that you've bid. Send me your receipt so I've got proof that you know that the money has changed hands and that the donation has happened, and then I send you the guitar. That's as simple as that. If you're bidding from outside the UK, please contact me first, because it can get a bit pricey sending guitars internationally. So I might need to make some kind of charge for shipping charges and stuff like that. But other than that, yeah, that's how the auction works. Now, talking about guitars for good causes, I have a little bit of an update for you here. First of all, in terms of the amount of money which has been donated to Zoe's Place, in the August update I mentioned that the closing balance of donations to Zoe's Place was £1,439.50. That was including the £170 that I was donating for the Harley Benton TE90 that I ended up keeping. So since then, a very kind gentleman from Ireland, not the same guy who bought the Vox modelling amp, a different chap, a very kind gentleman from Ireland has paid £175 for this guitar, the Harley Benton ST62 Strat copy that you can remember I was so keen on and was quite taken with. There's the receipt for the donation that he made, and he is now the proud owner of that guitar, which brings the total amount of donations to Zoe's Place to £1,614.50. Next stop, £2,000. Let's see if we can make it £2,000 by the end of the year. That would be absolutely awesome if we could do that. And in order to do that, you need to put some donations into that GoFundMe campaign. The link is below this video, as I mentioned earlier. Now then, money in the GoFundMe campaign. Closing balance at the end of the last update was there was £120.58 left in the fund. Since then, I've had only two withdrawals from GoFundMe. There's only 2 lots of money came through, £39.31 and £33.73, making a total in the fund of £193.62. And when you take off the £150 that I paid for this guitar, that leaves us with a closing balance this month of £43.62, which isn't really enough to buy even the cheapest guitar. So if you'd like to see some more of these reviews, then we need to get the donations coming in again. You know, everybody's been on holiday and been busy doing kind of summer stuff, but you know, be nice if we could get some money flowing in again. So if you're feeling generous, chuck a few quid in the hat and it will go to a very good cause, as I said. And that pretty much wraps things up for today, folks. I do hope you've enjoyed this little review. And finally, one for me, if you would like some tailored one-to-one guitar tuition, then give me a shout via the details at the end of this video. If you live on Teesside in the northeast of England, you can come along for a face-to-face lesson. Or, if you, wherever you are in the world, you can have a lesson via Skype. And whichever way you do it, your first lesson is free, so you've got absolutely nothing to lose. So why not give it a go? And with that, I'll bid you all a good day, say thank you very much for watching and thank you for your time, and I look forward to seeing you all again next time around. Bye for now, folks.